You can remember a face, a story, even the color of someone's coat, and still lose their name before the conversation reaches its second sentence. That moment feels like failure because names are personal. Forget one, and it can feel as if you forgot the person. But most name forgetting is not a memory problem. It is an attention problem wearing a memory costume. This is not about not caring. Often it happens because you care too much about the impression you are making. The brain hears the name at the exact second it is also checking posture, tone, warmth, timing, and whether the greeting sounded normal. A name needs a tiny landing place. Social pressure fills that landing place before the sound can settle. A name is strange information. It usually does not describe the person, explain itself, or connect to a story yet. If someone says they are a baker, a runner, or afraid of elevators, your mind gets hooks. A name arrives almost hookless. Memory is not a camera. It records what attention touches long enough to give meaning. The anxious mind often turns the camera inward. It watches your own face, your own voice, your own performance. So the more desperately you try to be a good listener, the less available you may be to actually hear the name. It can happen in half a second. The name enters, the pressure rises, and attention steps sideways. Then shame arrives late and loud. It says, "You should have remembered," which makes the next name even harder. This is the loop. Pressure steals attention. Attention misses the name. Shame increases pressure. None of this means names do not matter. It means the first seconds of a meeting are busier than they look. Faces carry shape, emotion, movement, and context. Names are small sounds asking to become meaningful later. You may remember where you met someone, what they said, and how they made the room feel, while the label floats away. The mind stores stories more easily than labels. A label becomes memorable when it gets attached to a living detail. The hardest names to keep are often the ones you receive while trying to seem relaxed, clever, respectful, or impressive. Status makes it worse. A boss, a date, a new group, a respected guest, suddenly the name must prove something. When the meeting feels like a test, the name stops being information and becomes evidence about you. Some people repeat the name silently so hard that they stop hearing the next sentence. They are not listening to the person anymore. They are guarding the name from falling. A better strategy begins when attention moves outward again toward the person's rhythm, context, and first detail. Using the name once can help, but only if it keeps you present. If it makes you panic, it becomes another performance. It is kinder to admit, early and plainly, that the name escaped than to spend 10 minutes pretending you have it. Repair is not humiliation. It is a tiny social reset before shame builds a whole room around the mistake. Most people are less offended by a quick correction than by a long performance of false certainty. After you hear the name again, attach it to one real detail: the project, the dog, the city, the joke, the problem. Do not collect 5 details. Choose one honest anchor and let the name land there. Spelling can help because it turns a slippery sound into shape, but it must stay natural. Sound associations can help too, as long as they do not become private jokes that replace the person. The point is not to win a memory trick. The point is to move from label to person. People who forget names easily are often not detached. They may be flooded, self-conscious, or trying too hard to be safe. The cruel part is that one embarrassing miss can train you to fear the next introduction before it even begins. Then the body prepares for failure, and the brain spends the greeting managing that preparation. You might feel it as heat, speed, or tightening, but the useful question is simple: where did my attention go? If attention went inward, bring it outward with one observation: the person's context, their first sentence, or the shared reason you are there. Forgetting a name feels socially enormous because shame zooms in. In reality, it is usually a small, repairable gap. The repair can be simple. I want to make sure I have your name right. Can you remind me? Practicing that sentence ahead of time matters because shame hates improvising in public. Some people turn name forgetting into an identity. I am terrible with names. That sentence can become a cage. A better sentence is, names need a second pass for me. That is less shameful and more accurate. People usually remember how you make them feel more than whether you performed perfect recall instantly. Care is not perfect recall. Care is returning with respect when the first pass fails. Digital life makes it stranger. We see usernames, handles, and profile pictures, then meet a real name under time pressure. Groups make names blur because several introductions arrive, before any one name has a story attached. In a group, aim for one name at a time. Let the first anchor form before chasing the whole room. Of course, patterns differ. Fatigue, distraction, stress, language differences, and unfamiliar sounds can all make the first pass weaker. If memory problems spread far beyond names and disrupt daily life, that belongs with a professional, not a YouTube explanation. But if names are the main place you stumble, the most useful repair may be attention, not panic. Before the next introduction, try this. Soften your performance check by 10% and look for one real detail. Afterward, write the name with the detail if you need to, but keep it respectful and private. Over time, the name becomes easier because the person becomes less abstract. Memory grows where relationship gives it roots. That is why forgetting a name is not always a sign of distance. Sometimes it is the shadow of pressure. You can take names seriously without turning every introduction into a trial. The next time a name slips, pause, return outward. Ask again if you need to. The door is smaller than shame says. If this helped, stay with us. We are interested in the quiet mechanics behind ordinary human moments, because sometimes the smallest social mistake is not small at all. It is a map of where attention learned to hide. And once you can see the map, a forgotten name becomes less like a verdict and more like a door you can reopen.